My mom's ex asked me to let him date me. TDLR. Went out of town for a year, and when I came back my mom's ex developed feelings for me and asked me to date him. I declined but never told anyone about it. This happened a few years ago when I F24 was 19. My mom, 45 now, dated this really nice and supportive guy. We'll call Jim, 45 to 50 then, for around 2 years. I met him when I was 17. Mom started dating this new guy she met through a friend of her, and besides his job he was a jiu-jitsu teacher. By that time I was eager to start any kind of martial arts, so she asked him if I could train with him. Almost a year go by and I moved to live with my aunt and study to college, trying to enter a public faculty. In my country they're very good and everywhere. When I returned my mom wasn't dating Jim anymore, but they were still friends and he was helping her with some legal troubles of undoing a partnership with their mutual friend who scammed my mom. Here's where the troubles began. Jim used to be like a paternal figure for me since he dated my mom and helped us a lot, and my father lived 17h distant and had his wife, and my new brother was a newborn when we met. But when I came back to my mom's house to go to college he was a bit different. Initially I believed it was due to the year long without contact. Then he started inviting me to lunch and brought me gifts saying it was for my birthday. He never did IR before. In one of this lunches he told me he was confused about how he felt about me and asked me to dinner so we could talk more about it, and he wanted to ask me something. So, being naive as I could, I said yes, even though this was weird as fuck. Dinner night comes and again he says to no tell my mom or brother, and silly me does just that. 'Cause I didn't want to stress them about it and was afraid of how bad they could react and possible being guilted for all that was happening. He's respectful through all the talking and tells me how I'm mature, how I came back different, beautiful and more like a woman. Then he says how he want to be by my side and support me in pursuing my dreams and say it can be in whatever way I feel more comfortable with, but he wanted me to think of him as a partner and someone I can rely on. When I asked if it was something like a boyfriend he said that he was more serious than that. I politely declined and told him I wasn't comfortable with that and didn't think it could ever work. Got back home scared like hell of anybody in my family finding out about it and how I would be screwed if they did find out, confused and lost trying to figure how the hell things ended up like this. So, today I finally talked about it with somebody, my therapist, and he made me realize how disgusted and betrayed and mad I really was with this. He suggested me to tell my mom about it, but I don't believe this could go well and I'm truly afraid of how bad she can react or what she could do, but I needed to vent. So here I am. Does anyone here ever went through something similar? What did you do when it happened? How should I deal with this shit? 'Cause I thought I was over it, but shit never gets any better. Any advice is very welcome right now. Peas, sorry for formatting, typed on cell phone. Abid English is not my first language. You need to tell your mom. He might have started dating her to get close to you evidently. He literally asked you to keep it secret. That's predatory AF. She has a right to know so she won't disclose information to him about you by accident, and will stay away from him herself. That's creepy and disgusting and he should know better. Cut him out and do what you need to stop him from getting close to you again. I haven't had this experience though. I just wanted to validate your feelings. What he did, how he went about it, was all wrong and you have every right to feel the way you do about it. I am so sorry you are going through this. I am so sorry you had to go through that. That must have been so hard. The best advice I can give you is to tell someone you trust, which could be a friend, your mom, brother, etc. You have to know that you didn't do anything wrong so you have nothing to be scared of, and if the person you tell reacts badly then it's their fault not yours. Not talking about it will just hold you back and make you feel like you did something wrong when you didn't. Also I don't want to worry you but he might take your rejection badly and tell people that you're the one who came on to him. You need to talk to your therapist why they think it is a good idea to tell your mom. Did you go into depth with your therapist about why you don't want to tell your mom? Why do you not want to tell your mom? If you do not have a healthy relationship with your mom, why is your therapist pressuring you to tell your mom? The man seriously sounds like a predator, like the kind of man who would date a woman with kids to get to the child. You have every right to feel mad and disgusted. I've had 2 of my mom's exes do this and one turned out to be a pedophile. Yes, he's actually in prison RN. This is gross and creepy. Tell your aunt and your mom. They will believe you. You want to justify it, but it's creepy at best and rapey at worst. It's wrong, wrong, wrong all the way down. Don't defend him. As an older woman nearly your mother's age, this is predator behavior. By asking you not to tell anyone, he makes it clear that he knew what he was asking for was inappropriate. His attempt at secrecy is a problem that could quickly grow larger. Secrets have a way of coming to light over time. My advice is to talk to your mother candidly about the situation and your feelings if you feel that she is a safe person to confide in. If you don't, you're putting yourself in a sword of Damocles type of situation in which, should the truth become known, you will look like a complicit guilty party. Best to get out in front of things while you still have the option to control the narrative than to be surprised later. Incredibly disgusting. It's called grooming. He tried making you okay with his advances at a young age so you wouldn't put up a fight later when he assaults you. Block this guy, warn others and protect yourself. Tell your mom. If you can't trust your mom to have your back, and if you are truly scared of her, then I wouldn't tell her. I think the best you can do for now is focus on becoming independent. When you have your own home, income and trusted friends, you can tell your mom if you still want to. In either case, keep up therapy. Please tell your mom. Yikes on a bike. I got nothing helpful to contribute, sorry. Just wow. Sorry to hear that you're in such a shitty position. It's messed up as fuck that him, having dated your mom, plus is still friends with your mom, would even have the audacity to try and date you. Your feelings about this travesty is totally justified. I know you have reservations about telling your mom, but if she doesn't know, how is she going to help protect you from this predator when they still hang out as buddies? You will have to suffer through his creepy gaze when he visits your mom. So, if you can, tell your mom so she can do an introspection of her choice of men and avoid creepers. Do you have a good relationship with your mom? If you don't, then I totally get your hesitation in telling her. But if she's a good mom and you have a good relationship with her, give her a chance to be there for you, be supportive and help you through this. But only if it's safe for you. Do you think your mom would come to a session with your therapist to tell her there? Tell your mom. I got the literal crazy uncle who tried multiple times to try the same shit with me. Turns out he'd been a creepy shit to multiple female family members, none of which ever talked about it for decades. So he kept getting away with it. It's scary to talk about it, because weirdly you feel like you're the problem, but you are not at fault. It's his fault. And he is relying off people not talking about it. Ew, he groomed you. You need to block him on all forms of contact. If he continues to contact you, then contact the police and tell your mother. Gross, tell your mom. Yikes. He was grooming you. Probably set his eyes on you when he was with your mom. She may not take it well, but she needs to know. I feel ill, had to stop reading halfway through. He is a predator. How many other teenage girls has this jiu-jitsu coach been grooming? Gross AF. I bet parents of other students would like to know. There is something seriously wrong with grown adults that are attracted to teenagers. When you get attention from someone who would be inappropriate, it's very common to feel guilty about it. Did I do something to encourage this? Did I send a wrong signal? Make sure you tell them unambiguously, I think you have, and make sure you tell someone else, you have. You did nothing wrong, all the shame is on him. I suspect you'll probably have to tell your mother, eventually, but it's likely to be upsetting for her and you. If you only went to dinner once, consider yourself lucky. If it was recent, it's easier to tell others, listen mum, something happened last week I need to tell you about. If it's long ago, it's harder. I do hope he's not on the scene anymore, but you don't say. Wishing you well. Yes, the don't tell your mom defense. Having had multiple partners in the past do super sketchy stuff, then follow up the incident with that line leads me to believe that maybe you should be telling your mom? I think your mom should know. He was either trying for some kind of sick revenge thing to hurt your mom, or he was a sexual predator. You were young and inexperienced and didn't know better. There's always the possibility of your mom getting back together with this guy. It happens, and if she knows what kind of sick individual he really is, she'll make sure that never happens. No, just no. I don't know much about your mom, but how she should react would be by being disgusted by him and recognizing his predatory and pedophile behavior and blaming him for it. None if this is your fault. R. Titlegore. Did he pursue you in any way after you told him no at dinner? Your therapist is probably recommending you tell your mom as a way to get closure on something that has been bothering you for years. Personally, this therapeutic approach hasn't helped me, but perhaps it will for you. If you don't feel comfortable with it, tell your therapist and come up with another therapy plan. And since no one else is saying it, this sounds enough like Woody Allen, Soon Yi, that I'm not surprised you wonder how others will react. Creeper alert. Yikes. I would say the only thing kind of like this that ever happened to me was with a former teacher. We were kinda buddies my senior year of school. He was my history teacher, so I was 17 to 18 and he was 27 to 28 and dating my boyfriend's sister. He was a coach and a lot of them were friendly with the students. Well, my freshman year in college he tried to contact me and date me. Made me feel really weird and uncomfortable. Side note, he ended up marrying another one of his former students, even younger than me. All I can say is ew. I'd let mom hear it from you first just in case he tries to get back at you for rejecting him. I had a similar situation. Al thought I was around 16-17 and I was trying really hard to get this special daughter-dad bond with him. He somehow misunderstood me and thought I was into him. Next thing I know he went on to my mom telling her he was in love with me. I found out and never felt as disgusted and betrayed in my life. Blearg still feels bad thinking about it. Run, as fast as you can. The guy might seem a nice dude, but to you he's trouble. Too much trouble to say the least. Although the guy broke some established social norms, age gap and the fact that he used to date your mom, he didn't break any laws and seems like he was trying to be upfront and honest with you. What I see, you're both adults. He has feelings for you. He confessed to you. You declined. End of story. Break off contact with him and tell your mom if you have to do so. But I don't understand why you would hold a grudge against him. Guy is a human being. Coming from someone who is amazing at misreading signals, it's possible he thought more about some of your actions than you meant. Knowing I am good at misreading signals, it's not a surprise when I'm wrong, so I take rejection worth a grain of salt. Your declining should be enough to pull him out of his fantasy, in which you were sending signals. Back to reality where he's just creepy for thinking it. If he ceases to, I would let your mom know just in case he thinks he might try to hit her up again, but the situation is most likely over. By the way, your therapist also want to date you. He is jealous. Damn, I already know you got a big ol' booty to drive this man to these actions.